just a second and we'll get started making a bag with the marbled Elegance paper. So let me just check my laptop and we'll get started. Hope you guys had a great day. I have been super busy with not a lot of time on my hands today, so we will get started, and I'm going to be making some Valentine's Day bags today, and I hope to get them all done for my upcoming class on Wednesday. So let me just log in on my computer and we will be all ready to go. And if you could let me know that you can hear me and everything sounds okay, that would be greatly appreciated. Looks like I have one on right now. So we will just give it a few minutes to get in that YouTube algorithm and let people know that I am live. So we've got some really pretty paper in front of you. It's called the Marbled Elegance, and it's a specialty paper because it has that gold foil in it. And I'm going to be making some bags today. So it was a trial and error today, making the bags, and I'm going to go through the 3 that I made, and then we'll make a couple together. But first I'm going to go over my monthly special. This is the second half of January. January is almost over. It will be over this weekend, and we'll be into February already, but I have my weekly, not weekly, but my bi-monthly special is now using this host code up here, which is 33JUKTKS. And with a, hold on, $35 order. I got it on my other board there. So with a $35 order, you can receive 4 card kits, one of each of the designs I'm going to show you. And a $60 product order will get you 4 card kits plus one of the designs above plus an embellishment. So 4 kits for $35 product order, less your shipping and tax, of course, or $60, you'll get 4 card kits plus an embellishment. So these are the quick and easy cards that we made for Valentine's Day. I've already showed you guys these before. So this one's like super fun to make. Lots and lots of prettiness going on here with Adoring Hearts hybrid embossing folder. And then here we brought in the cute little critters. And this one's just a Just Because I Care card. And then we've got this one here, My Heart Loves Your Heart. We're going to be using this heart today. And this kind of like similar design, but we're going to incorporate 2 of these cards here into the focal point on the bag. And then lastly is this one right here. And then that just opens like that. So that is my second half of January monthly special. You can get that information at inspiredbygraham.com. So we're going to get started. I have in front of me again, it's called Marbled Elegance. Let me just take this off here so you can kind of see. A lot of distracting. It's very bright and bold and like right in front of your face. But if you don't have this paper, it's super, super pretty. You can use either side of it. It works. Tonight I'll show you, I'll probably do one with the foil side and then one with, I don't know which pattern I'll use, but I really like this one right here. It's just so pretty with that flower, but I'll try to use something different that I haven't already used. But this is from it's an online exclusive. So when we have an online exclusive, we never know when it's going to be gone. So this one was announced in January. And it is $16.50. If you want the item number, it is 164919. The colors, we've got Cherry Cobbler, Flirty Flamingo, Gold, Melon Mambo, Petal Pink, and Real Red. So there's not a lot of description on it. I can read what they say for the product detail. It says, pour affection into your paper crafting with the hand-poured marble designs in the Marbled Elegance 12 by 12 Specialty Designer Series paper. These gorgeous designs feature gold foil mixed into marble patterns for a luscious look, perfect for Valentine's Day cards or in gift packaging, or save to use throughout the year for birthdays, anniversaries, and more. So I am going to be using this today for a gift packaging idea that you can use for Valentine's Day or birthdays throughout the year. So again, it was trial and error today. So let me just show you what I've got in front of me here. This is the one we're going to go with, although the handle here is a little bit too short, and I used a single hole punch in there. It was too big. The hole's too big, so I've got to go to a different punch that I have. But on two of them, I used Velcro. So this one was my first one right here. And it's very, very simple. We can see that that pretty paper there is, which was one of my favorites here. And you got the Elegance on the foil paper there. This is kind of just like a little tab where you can stick this little flap underneath it, and it will hold it shut. I did learn that I put my adhesive way too high on the heart, on the back side of it. So I'm going to redesign this one. It's going to be the same thing, except for I'm going to try to get that glue a little bit further down, because really there's not a lot of like area here to hold this little flap down. So that's the change I would make with this one. It's just really kind of pretty, kind of plain. I don't know. If you're in a super quick mode to make a bag, this is the one to go with. Now this one here, I've got two different size Velcro circles in my craft room. Now this one here, I'm going to say it's probably 1/2 inch. It's way too big because the strength of that Velcro could totally rip your paper. See, I'm trying to hold on to something and it's, granted I don't have anything inside the bag, but it's just too strong and your bag could really kind of tear apart. So what I went with is a 1/4 inch Velcro tab, and it just kind of looks like, it feels like a mini glue, like, I don't know, dimensional almost. And it holds it really nicely, but it's easy to lift up. So I don't honestly remember where I found these. They probably came from my grandmother's stash. I honestly don't really know. But this is the focal point I'm going to show you how to make. And again, this handle is way too short. I used ribbon. And let me just show you that hole here. The single hole punch is too big. So unless you double up your knots, and I really didn't have enough room, enough ribbon to do that. So I will, I'm going to see what I mean. It just came out of that hole. So that's definitely not going to work unless you have a really, really wide ribbon that you can make a really big knot with. It probably would work, but in any event, you don't really have to have the handle on it with a ribbon. I just wanted to give you a different idea as how you can just take this little bag and make it into kind of like a purse, really. So we'll be making this one. I'm going to make a couple of them. I'm going to show you how I cut my paper. And I'll give you all the sizes too. You could make 2 bags with 1 sheet of designer paper. And this is what your template is going to end up looking like. And let's see, those are the places I put my tear and tape. But I'm going to show you how to make this. And let me just pull in the paper here. And I just want to try to find a different pattern that I can work with. Let's see, I'm probably going to do this one because I haven't used it yet. But let me just flip through here to see what I have left. I've got 2 packages of the paper, so I've got a couple different sheets. Oh, this one's really pretty. Maybe I'll work with that one. I know it's very hard to decide which one I want to work with because they're all really, really nice. It all just depends on what you gravitate to for colors. That's when I keep gravitating back to this one. But let me I'll make this one right here on top. It's got a lot more white in it, so I'll be happy to see how this one goes with, you know, a little bit more white. So we'll be making, I'm going to show you how to, like a mass production of cutting your paper and scoring it all at the same time. So let's grab our paper trimmer. And I love our paper trimmer because I hang mine on the wall. I've just kind of tied some twine here, and it's got this little hole here. So I just hang it on a hook on the side of my desk here. And I've got 3 paper trimmers in my craft room, so I don't really have to walk very far to find a paper trimmer. Okay, so ultimately what you're going to be working with is a 6x12 paper. And what I'm going to do first, let me just think how I want to do this. Yeah, okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to cut the paper in half. Now, I don't care what direction it goes to because it's really non-directional. So I'm just going to cut it in half. All right, and now when you're doing this, you really have to be careful about keeping your paper exactly together. Okay, don't shift it around. Just make sure all the edges are aligned correctly. And on the long or this short side here, what I'm going to do is you need to score at 1 inch. So when I'm scoring at 1 inch, I use the mark on the right side of my paper trimmer. It's just easier for me because I'm right-handed. So I've got it lined up with the 1. And there's 2 different blades on our paper trimmer. One is gray and one is like I'll call that one gray granite, and this one is, let's call it basic black. The basic black one here, that one cuts. So we want to make sure that one's out of the picture, and we're going to be using the gray one. And when you score designer paper, you have to be careful not to press down too hard on the paper because it can tear. It's not like cardstock. It's not as heavy as cardstock. With specialty paper, it is a little bit thicker than our regular designer series paper. So kind of in the middle, the medium kind of pressure. And I just kind of go up like 4 or 6 times, whatever. And then, so that's 1 inch. And now I'm going to rotate the paper and I'll stack it again just so I know that those edges are good. And I'm going to score it on the opposite side at 1 inch. So I go up and back twice. And now we'll take that out. We need the arm extension. So we'll get that out there. And now on the long side up here, we're going to put our paper in, and the first score line is going to come at 4 inches. All right, so I'll use that gray blade again. So 4 inches, and then 5 inches. All right, 5 inches. And then we're going to go all the way over to 9. So 4, 5, and 9 inches. And again, I'm making sure that there's 2 pieces of 6x12 in here. So I'm just trying to make sure it's all lined up and not one is off by just a little bit, because then it's going to probably mess up your lines. All right, so now I've got 2 already scored. Super easy so far, right? You can also cut them at the same time, okay? If you're daring enough to do this, I'm going to do it. So what you want to do is you're going to be cutting these tabs right here. And you're going to look for the one score line that goes up to 4 inches. Okay, so we're going to cut these tabs off right here. And I'm sure you probably can't see the score lines there because they are really hard to see. But I'm going to grab some scissors. I honestly don't like to use my paper snips for this step because I think they're just too like thin. I like to use, let me see. I like to just use some generic scissors for any kind of cutting up score lines. So again, I'm going to make sure this is all tight and together. And I'm going to just cut right up on that score line. And I'll rotate it to cut this piece off here. So I've got 2 of those off. I'm going to restack it again because I know my paper shifted, so I want to make sure it's all right, all, you know, tight and not off. And each time you make a cut, you might want to just try to, or remember to line that paper up. I can't even see that score line. It's right in that white area. Okay, so these, you can keep them for cards or you can just chuck them. I'll recycle those. Now this is going to be the flap, meaning this flap right here, this one, the shorter one. I like to round the corners. So we, again, can do this at the same time. And I've got a Project Life corner rounder. You could, if you don't have one, find a circle die cut or a circle punch. That would work as well. Okay, so those are all set. Now this is the time where you're gonna just have to, you're gonna be doing these separately. All right, so now we're going to fold on all of the score lines. I want the gold foil on the outside. Let me grab my bone folder here. And I'm just going to go and burnish all of the score lines. And there's not too many, but I can't see this one. This is really hard. Let's see. There, I think that's it. All right, so that's that one. And then we've got 2 more here. So those are the 4 and the 5-inch score lines. And then there's 1 more, which is the front flap. Okay, so this is it so far. Now, where do you put your tape? And I'm going to bring this one back in. I would highly recommend using tear and tape. 1, because it's easier to use, and I feel it's easier to use than Seal or Seal Plus. Seal probably wouldn't last. Liquid glue, I've had a really bad experience with it for the last 2 weeks. Just getting it all over my hands. So I have, I'll be using it today, but I'm telling you, I'm using it sparingly. I have to go in like stages with my adhesive for some reason. I don't know. I like the tear and tape because it's super quick and easy. So I'm just gonna take my bone folder to remove any of the air bubbles that are there. Oh, I forgot one step, you guys. Actually, I didn't cut all the way through. We need to cut these little tabs here. If you want to angle cut them in, you can. I'm not going to. I think it'll be fine to not do that. And over here, you can see where I have the tear and tape. So we put those flaps up so we can see the gold side. And then I'm just going to add a piece there and a piece here. And I will take my bone folder again just to burnish that adhesive down. Now I will remove these backings here. And since this is going to be the front, this is going to be, that's the inside front. We don't want the seams, meaning the edges, at the front side. So what we have to do is we have to bring the back side up and we match edge to edge. And you're just going to want to pinch it. Okay, so again, back side comes towards the front. And we line up the score line to the edge of the side there. And now this is the time where I like to take off the side pieces. And we will bring this over. And we'll just bring it all the way up. I like to use my bone folder, and we'll just stick it in there and just kind of go back and forth with it so we know that that tear and tape is stuck to the paper. All right, we're going to do the same thing on this side. And we'll get this corner over here, and we're bringing it all the way to the edge. I just like to rub it like a little bit just to get it preliminary like stuck. And then I take my bone folder and just go back and forth on the inside. And then you can just double check. So when I was referring to those ends, I didn't want them, so you can see them right here. We want those to go to the back side because we want to see a prettier side on the front. All right, so we're getting there. The next step we want to do is we want to take the two tops here and we kind of put them together. And I'm just going to make with my hands, I'm not using the scoring tool or anything like that. I'm just making this little indentation there, okay? And we'll do it to the other side. It's going to help bring that front flap around. You can also use your bone folder if you want to give a really good press. Okay, and then eventually it's going to go like that, okay? So now what do? We're going to decorate it. Okay, so this one I'm going to add a handle to. So I have this retired Stampin' Up! Punch. I think it's a 1/8 of an inch. I haven't used it in a while. I'm going to try to see if this one will work. The only other option is my 1 inch single hole punch, not 1 inch, but my single hole punch. And honestly, that is a little bit too big. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this little punch and I'm punching a hole, I don't know, about 1/4 of an inch down from the top. It doesn't have to be exact on both sides, just eyeball it. All right, so we'll slide that punch in. I'm looking from the side to see where I am, and I'll just punch it. Okay, so now I've got this second hole right there. So try to get it towards the middle. Okay, then I am going to, let's see, what do I want to do next? Let's design the front, and then we'll put the rest together. So to design the front, I'm going to make this design right here. We made a design very similar to this, and it's that card that I made last week, which is this one right here. Okay, on this one, I made a single heart and added these little flowers. This one here, I stamped and then added Flirty Flamingo and Melon Mambo die cut hearts. So I'm going to go with a doubled up, but I'm not sure if I want to put the flowers on here. We're going to see how that looks. But that's kind of where I got, here's another one where I stamped Granny Apple Green on Granny Apple Green to see that little heart underneath there. So I'm going to try I don't know how those little flowers are going to look. So we'll try it, and so we can have a comparison. So I will have, let's see, I've got over here. Before I came on this afternoon, I did a lot of die cutting because I need to make about 10 of these bags. So I have the deckled circle. I think it's the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, the 6th one from the middle of the dies. I don't know what size. I don't have my ruler here right now. Maybe 2.5 inches. If you have a punch, that would work too. But you want it to be a little bit bigger than your die cut heart. All right, because we want it to be on the white. okay? We don't want it going over the edge because then you won't be able to see that heart very well. We're going to do some stamping in the middle as well. So I did a bunch of die cutting here, and then I also die cut over here. I've got some more of these deckled circles, and then I got a few sentiment strips. I wasn't sure what I was going to be using for a sentiment, so I have those in there. And then here are a bunch of die cut flowers that I have already pre-die cut in all the colors that come in the paper. So that would be let's see, this one is, I think that one's real red. I've got white, petal pink, poppy parade. There's flirty flamingo, petal pink, and cherry cobbler in there. And then for foliage, I have granny apple green and old olive cut out. And this is all in that set. The set is free during celebration. I'm not sure, it was on back order, and I did not get a chance to check and see if it's back in stock or not. It's been super popular because you can earn it for free with a $120 product order. So it's been a really, really big hit with a lot of customers and demonstrators alike. All right, so I'm going to grab in some circles here, and I'll show you how I made this one first, and I'll see if I can get it. So what I did, I actually stamped my heart, and I stamped it in Melon Mambo ink. Okay, and then try to get this in the center. Let me just bring it a little bit closer to me here. All right, so I've got that one in the center. Since I've got this stamp out, I'm gonna stamp a couple more of these just to have them ready so we don't have to do this step on the second bag. And let me just stamp one more just in case. Okay, so we're done with the heart stamp. I'm not going to stamp the sentiment yet. You know what? I didn't really stamp that too good in a circle. This one's the best one. So let me go back and try to stamp this a little bit better. It's really hard to stamp at an angle when you're on a camera. So I'm going to have to bring it super close to me. Let's see if I got that one. Oh, that one's much better. So let me just do that one more time in case I need another one. And what I found was looking at the bottom of that heart, the point actually helped me a lot better than looking at the top of the heart. There we go. That one's really good too. Okay, we're done with that. And this one here, I'm going to, we use Flirty Flamingo and Melon Mambo hearts. So let me see. I might use Cherry Cobbler because that's on the front here. Real red. No, we can take a look and see what they look like. I always like to do that. So here's my Cherry Cobbler. And then I would want to go with something lighter. So my option would be to go white. I don't think that looks very good because you can't really, it kind of blends in with the circle. So white is out of the question. We can bring in petal pink. Again, I'm just placing these. Petal pink, I don't know. It's a contender, but not so high on the chart. This is Melon Mambo, which is the same color that I stamped in. I would say that one's better than the petal pink. Flirty Flamingo. Ooh, that one's pretty good. I would say now I've got this. And then I've got Poppy Parade, which is a really bright red. Oh, that one's really pretty too. I would say that's a tie. And I've got Real Red. Got to be really careful when you have these in a little basket or bin because they really stick together. All right, so this is the real red. And then this is the bag it's going to go on. I think I want a little bit more pop of color. So let's look at this one here, which is the Poppy Parade. And then we'll look at Flirty Flamingo. I think I'm going with Flirty Flamingo because of the lighter colors on this marbled portion here. All right, so all these others will go in back in that bin. Now, when I use the white, I would die cut a different circle. Probably I would maybe die cut a deckled circle in Flirty Flamingo. You want a little bit lighter one. I think that would be a better option. Okay, so this is where I was like, do I stamp the sentiment first or do I stamp it last? So I stamped it after I had these on. And when I adhere these down, I off center. I don't put it right on top of the stamped image. I kind of put it off just a little bit so we can see that stamping underneath. So I'll just take my liquid glue for this portion and hopefully I won't get too messy. And I only put it on, let's see if it's going to even actually go. It's going to come out like just a mess. Let me just grab my take your pick tool. And I'm just going to try to get some of that dried glue out of there. And I'm adding glue to the rough side of this die cut. Maybe. There we go. All right, so 1, 2, that's way too much. 3, now it's really coming out. 4, let me just get rid of some of this so it doesn't make a mess on my table. Okay, put one right there. Now we'll flip this over and I'm gonna off center it from the Melon Mambo. So drop it down just a little bit. Not too much, because you gotta remember you gotta still stamp in that middle. For this step, I do like to use a block instead of my fingers. And the next step is to take that Flirty Flamingo and we're going to, again, add our glue. I'm just tapping. So about 5 times. And I'm going to go up a little bit higher. So I can still see the Melon Mambo that I stamped. I can see the Cherry Cobbler layer, and now I can see the Flirty Flamingo. All right, I'm going to bring in that sentiment, which is really, really nice one. It says, my thoughts of you are all heart-shaped. So I've never heard of something like that, and I think it's really kind of fun. All right, so now my goal is to get this in the middle. So I'm looking at the word shaped. I'm not worrying too much about my thoughts, because if I can get shaped down below without hitting the paper, then I'm good. And I did. Okay, so there you are. Now you could have stamped this first if you want, and I will, what I'll do is on the next one, I will stamp this first and then we'll assemble the hearts there. I'm not going to add the flowers yet, I don't think. Let me see. Do I want to or not? I think I'm going to wait. So we're pretty much almost done with this step. Let me get my Velcro circles. And again, if you didn't see me in the very beginning, I don't remember where I got these. I think they're from my grandmother's stash, and that would have been like, I don't know, 10 years, 12 years ago. I don't really know. I can't believe it's been that long since she passed away. Honestly, time flies. These Velcros are attached, and I'm just going to cut right down through. And I've got one side, and then I like to put these on first. Oh my gosh, I gotta zoom back out. I am so sorry, I forgot to do that step. Those are both on there, and now I'm just going to cut that out. So I have them here, and I'm gonna attach them to the back side of the front flap. And then we'll pull off that little backing that comes with the Velcro. And then we're going to tighten this up, and then we will kind of fold this over gently, and I'm just going to press it a little bit. Then we'll lift this up, and now I can press it harder. Okay, so there's our little circle Velcros, and it's secure really good. It's not too strong, and it's not too light of a, I don't know, what do I want to call? I can't think. It's a Monday. But anyway, it's the perfect strength to hold your little flap. Okay, so now we'll decorate the front. And what I like to do on this step is I'm going to put Stampin' Dimensionals on the back side of this, but I only want to put them on about 2/3 up. So we're not going to put them on the bottom here, because that is going to go over to the front side, and we don't want that stuck on the bottom part. So let me just grab some dimensionals here I have left over from a kit, and I'm going to add 4 of them. I think 4 will be fine, and get those really good pressed down. I find that the dimensionals that come in the kits or Paper Pumpkin are just a little bit different than the ones that come from the annual catalog. I'm really not sure why, but for some reason they look a little, they're definitely different. So I just opened that up because I want to put this on, and it's much easier to do this opened up than stuck together. And then I want to make sure there I don't see any dimensionals on the back side, which I don't see. We don't want people to see that. Okay, so my next step is to put a handle on. I'm going to decide on the flowers a little bit later. So we'll open this up. Okay, so we already have our holes punched. And I brought it with me, 4 different ribbons that we offer. This one is called, it's basic white, and it's the woven ribbon. We also have the scalloped ribbon that comes in petal pink. All right, and then we have cherry cobbler, which is carrying over cherry cobbler and gold. That might be a little too thin, we'll see. And then we also have the iridescent ribbon. This goes, in my mind, with anything. It's striped trim. It's not ribbon, it's trim. And it just is just so like elegant. It looks gold, it looks silver. You can see different colors in it. So that's the one I used on the first one. I want to try something different on this one. So what I like to do with my ribbon is I kind of just like to put them out, and just to see what they might look like. I like the cherry cobbler and gold one because it's got both colors in the ribbon. And then we have this, what is this one called? The basic white woven ribbon. To me, the white looks a little too cheap to go with the specialty paper because of the gold. So I'm eliminating that one right off the bat. And then it's basically, do I want petal pink or do I want the cherry cobbler? I'm going to go with cherry cobbler because I did not use petal pink as any of the colors here. And on the next one, I'll use the petal pink and then we can kind of see. Well, the next one I was going to just use, I was going to do the very basic design. So I almost want to say this is going to look too thin, but we'll give it a try. So when I start entering or threading my ribbon through a small hole like this, is I like to cut an angle on the ribbon because it's so easy to thread that through than if your ribbon was cut straight across. Now watch, I won't be able to do this. I can't grab it. I might have to take it out of the camera just for a second here because it's really hard to grip this. There we go. Okay, so I brought it through, and this, you might want to just trim this. This is the time where you want to make a knot. So I'm going to make 2 knots. Well, let's check and see. This one might not be, it might be big enough. Yeah, that's going to hold. Okay. So then let me just stick that right down, and then we're going to bring this over, and now you're just going to figure out how much of the ribbon do you want. I think that makes a good handle, so then we'll maybe another inch or so and cut it at an angle. And now we want to come from the outside in. I'm finding it's a little bit difficult, a little bit harder to thread this ribbon through a smaller hole than it was that single hole punch. All right, so now I'll just make another little knot on this side. Oops. Okay, and then we'll gently pull this, and then we'll close it. And there we have our little bag. And I can't zoom out anymore, so now we're going to decide, do I add flowers or will it look too busy? And what would you put in this, right? We got to put something in it. So I pulled from my craft room or my craft fair closet. I've got a ton of stuff that I'm going to be making this year for craft fairs. I have these, let's see. I've got some Yankee candles. This is fresh mint. This is tulips. And this one is fluffy towels. Now, I have no idea how long I've had these, probably, I don't know, 10 years or so, but I like to keep them in my craft room just so I can show you what would fit in there. So we can try that first. And I bet we could fit all 3 in here. 1, 2, no, we're not going to be able to fit. We could fit 2 in there. Well, yeah, maybe, let's try 3. No. We can't fit 3 in there, but you can fit, I think we can fit 2. Nope, 1. So what I would do is I would put some little tissue paper in there or some paper shred that would match. And then I would put a little candle in there. And then we would close it up. All right, so now we'll decorate it with some flowers. So I highly suggest that before you make any kind of projects that you have a number of colors to work from, because not all of them are going to work. So let's grab some of these here, and I'm going to put them on this other paper here so I don't lose them. And I do want to make sure I have all the colors here. So I've got Petal Pink, Flirty Flamingo, that's Poppy Parade. I have white, I have red, and then Cherry Cobbler, which is the dark one, which is, I think, no, that's the same. I don't know. So we've got Flirty Flamingo on the top, and we also have the Cherry Cobbler underneath with Melon Mambo. Oh, that's what I didn't cut. I didn't cut the Melon Mambos. So I'm going to see what 3 different ones will look like. And then if we had this one on the top. I don't know. I'm going to try it and see. I'm also going to try to bring these little flowers to life. So I've got my little flowers here, and the smooth side is facing me. I also like to take like a piercing tool, but the end side, and I like to press in the middle. All right, because that just pops them up a little bit. Okay. You can also take your bone folder and just hold it in the middle there and be very gentle. But we're just going to break down the fibers with our bone folder, just kind of rolling it up. Okay. So what happens now, this one here that I just used the bone folder with is it's much smoother and softer, whereas this one here is a little bit more like stiff. Okay, so maybe we want to do the same thing to both of them. I know this one is going to be on the front. Okay, so now we need glue. I'm going to take this one here, which is the real red, and I'll put a little bit of dot of glue on the back side. You can use glue dots too. And I'll just put that one right there. The Petal Pink one is next. And I'll rotate that and put it there. Oops, I don't want to cover my words. And now the Flirty Flamingo one. We'll put over here. Now the dies that come in this set have foliage pieces. So I've already pre-cut some of these. This is Granny Apple Green, and then I've got Old Olive. I think I want to go with the Old Olive. And I'm just going to try to stick this underneath these little flowers. And you're just going to hold it for just a second. And let me grab, there's also these little small foliage pieces. And I've die cut them in Old Olive and Granny Apple Green as well. So I could stick a little one right down there. And then let's go with another small one, but in Old Olive, because we want an odd number. Odd numbers are much pleasing to the eye than your even numbers. And so I will put this one over here. Now for an embellishment. I do have some leftover hearts from the paper pumpkin kit. And I'll use, I don't know if I want that. Let me go grab my pearls because I think that might look better. I also have the rainbow adhesives, the iridescent adhesive backs, and the pearls. I'm going to try pearls on this one. Now the flowers are all the same size. So I think the medium size pearl is going to be the best size. So that's the one right, let's see. Right. Actually, I don't know. It looks like there's only two. So the one that's on the outer side, I want that big pearl right there. But we can still see the middle here. So that means we need some more pearls. So I'm going to take a smaller one and just sneak it in right there. And then another small one on the red. There. You can add some Wink of Stella if you wanted to do that on the, I would say the flowers maybe. So let me just touch it up with a little bit of glitter. Just a tiny bit. Okay, phew. That was fun. Actually, it was really fun on my side. Hopefully it wasn't too painful on your side. But let's clean up this area here. And the next one I'm gonna make is just with a like heart to hold it in, and no stamping, nothing except for just like a little tab that just kind of keeps it shut. That would be much quicker to do than adding a little ribbon handle or adding a huge focal point. So if you don't have a lot of time, then perhaps this is a design you can go with as well. You can just sit that on somebody's desk at work or whatever with a little note. But the point of this little heart is to keep your little flap down. So we'll see. Let's see how that one turns out. But what do you think? Do you think that cherry cobbler ribbon works? Or would you think something else might work better? Let me check the comments just to see if there's any questions. If there are not, then we will move on to the next one. I do need to clean up this area here because I don't know if I have any room left to work. So if you can post any comments right now, that would be great. And I will check in just a second here. Crocodile, yeah, tool would work as well. Yeah, Xana, I don't have one of those, believe it or not. So I do have just a single hole punch, or that, I think it's 1/8 of an inch hole punch. Okay. All right, so it doesn't look like there's any questions, so I'm going to move on to the other bag. So we already have the majority of it done because we cut and scored these at the same time. So the only thing I need to do is just cut these little flaps here. It's really hard to see these. Maybe I can see it better on this side. Okay, now with this one, I am going to angle cut these because I want to see if it really makes a difference, because I haven't done this step yet. But if we just angle cut it a little bit, like a 1/16 of an inch maybe, it gives a little bit more room for the little tabs to fit. It might be easier. I don't know. It's so hard to do this when there's so many different flaps everywhere. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to use this side as my front because this side is going to be too busy for a single heart. So here's this one that doesn't have the gold foil side on it. And you can see how the focal point does not get lost. So let me just fold all of the lines again. Sometimes if you fold your flaps over one way and then you refold them the other way, it may work better for you. I think I could have scored a little bit harder because that's why I'm having a little difficult time, seeing where the score lines are, to be honest with you. So do you guys have all your Valentine's Day gifts all ready to go? I've got my grandsons to get in the mail soon, but we still have some time, of course. Okay, so now again, this is going to be the front. Okay, so it's going to get folded over like this. So that means we put the adhesive on this side here. And again, I like to use my tear and tape. Especially if I'm mass producing. I just find it's a little bit easier to, a little bit quicker to, what do I want to say? Oops, I want to go on this side. To work with. All right, so now again, we're going to be folding this up, okay, like this. So we want this edge in the back side. So that means we have to put tear and tape up on these front ones here. And again, use your bone folder to get out all the air bubbles to make sure that adhesive is on there really good. If you don't do that step, then when you pull up the back side, you're probably going to pull up the adhesive as well. All right, so now we're going to match up. So I like to fold this one under so I can see the little tab. So this side comes this way, and we match up the ends, and then on this side we'll do the same thing. Okay, and then this is our flap, the smaller one. So now we'll remove these longer sides, and we will bring these all the way up. I like to work on the bottom, and then we're going to put that end of that paper right along that score line. And then I'm going to run that bone folder on the inside here. Just to make sure it's attached. And then we'll do the same thing. Now we're going to pinch these together. And I go about halfway down. And I'm just going to double check that this is still going to fold over correctly. You know what? I think I forgot to burnish this line down here. I know I did. Oh boy. Well, just pretend I did. Because I don't think I can fix it now that it's all glued together. All right, let's grab those Velcro dots. They are somewhere here on my desk. That's another thing. Make sure that you are so organized. Oh, no, we're not going to use, no, we're not going to do that part. We're not using the Velcro. We're using the little hearts. So from the other night, I used the adorning hearts, and these are my leftover pieces. This is from a paper pumpkin, so I could probably use that as well. This is also from paper pumpkin. This might be fun to work with. Ooh. We could add this to the front, maybe. All right, so I don't have a lot of these hearts that they might not even work, the colors. So this one here is Fresh Freesia. This one is Bubble Bath. This is Berry Burst. Got some more Bubble Bath. Let's see what else is in here. Well, we're going to have to figure this one out. I've got enough, but I just don't know if what color is going to work. I didn't even think about that. All right, so we can just do this by kind of putting it on here. Now you can see that really, really nice, but I'm not sure. That one didn't get embossed very well. This one, the Bubble Bath, might work. Let's see about Berry Burst. Oh, that does not work. That one clashes. So I think I'm going to use the Fresh Freesia. Let me just... I think. I'm looking in my laptop because I can see it better that way from a distance. I'm not sure what to use. I'm gonna go with Fresh Freesia. It probably doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but on my side of the camera, I really like what it looks like. So to make this extra strong, I put 2 of these together. So we'll glue those together, and then we'll add them to the box. On this one, it has a tiny little heart right here, which I can add one of these hearts from the Paper Pumpkin kit. It fits perfect in there. So I want to make sure that the debossed side is facing me. All right, and then on this one, the back side, it really doesn't matter. So I think what I'll do is I will put them, I'm going to add my glue. Here it is. I'm going to add my glue to one of these. And then we'll stick them together. Again, the deboss side is facing me, and we make sure that this is on here perfectly identical to the front and back side. And I got to give it just a second to actually stick there. Okay, so now what you need to do is we're going to only stick half of this, adhere half of the heart to right down here. And it's because we want to be able to put this flap underneath the heart, and that will, this heart's going to keep it attached and snug. So what I'll do again is, let's see, I want the deboss side front. So I'm going to just add glue right down here. And I'm going to shut this and then put this on here. Now, this, it might take a bit to stick, a good 30 seconds. If you don't let it adhere long enough, then it's going to just slip off. So we'll just add this on, and then maybe I can think about, can we dress up the top of it any better? Because it might be a little too boring. We could add the ribbon if we wanted to. We could add those little hearts. What would you do? You can post a comment if you want. It's not too late to do that. I've got these little hearts to work with. I've got some gold foil hearts. I like to use all of my paper pumpkin pieces. Of course, I'm going to use these little embellishments. They're super cute. All right, I think that's stuck on there long enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this little flap underneath the heart. My gosh. The problem is I didn't score that. I didn't burnish that other line, and that's why. There we go. Phew. Okay, so see, now that little heart is keeping it shut. And that's the super quick way of doing something. Now I noticed here are the angle cuts that I made, and I don't like it because you can see this paper. It doesn't look finished whatsoever. So you can try to trim it off. You can also use maybe your cherry cobbler Stampin' Right markers just to, let me go grab one. Just to color in that paper because you can see the core of the paper. Yeah, I think this is going to work. So if you have any white showing, just take this edge of your brush tip and just run it along the edge of the paper, and it colors that right in. There's a little bit more right here. That makes it so much better, you guys. Okay, did anybody comment on the design of this? Gold. Add gold? Where would I add gold, Alice? I also have this little foliage piece too, which, no, that wouldn't look good at all. We can't add those little die cut hearts because it would just be too much, too many hearts, right? That's like no go. I'm not sure what, Alice, you meant about gold, because I don't know if that's going to look good or not. Oh, wait. It was when you chose the heart. Oh, to put it over here, I think is what you mean. Oh, gotcha. So put these two together, and then that would have been it. I think that's what you mean. I still think we could do something with this remaining strip of hearts from that paper pumpkin. I don't know where I would do it, though. Hey, what about... What about if we just put it... I'm going to try this. I don't know. I'm willing to do it. Because right now I don't like how plain this is. Now on the other one, I really like that one. I think so. It all depends on the pattern. So this has a smooth and rough side. So we got to make sure that that smooth side is facing me, which is this side. And then we're just going to run this little heart strip. Oh, I guess I should have put the adhesive on the hearts first. That was stupid. Now I got a sticky flap. All right, and now I got to curve this around because we don't want that on this side. I don't know. I probably just totally ruined this, but I'm not going to use this one anyway. That doesn't look too bad. Let me add one of those little hearts from the paper pumpkin kit, and I think that will be it. So these are super cute little hearts. They're glittery. Oh, that looks cute. Look at that. That looks really cute. Actually, I think I like those little hearts going across. Now, I don't like how this ended. So maybe I should have adhered them in about just a little bit. That way I wouldn't have half a heart over here and a full one over there. So lesson learned, right? And that's okay. We all like to learn. Okay, so let's see what we've got made here. So we have this one here. Let me just pick all this stuff up. On Wednesday, I'm going to come back live to you. Oh, actually, no, I can't because I have an in-person class Wednesday night. So what I will do is I am going to upload a pre-recorded video, and I'm going to be decorating a craft bag that has handles on it. And let me go grab it. So I bought these little bags here. And these I use for my in-person classes now, so they can bring home their cards. They make four cards. And with the weather in Vermont, you never know. And we don't want our cards to get wet. So I'm going to have this at their little stations. Everyone has their own station. And I'm going to decorate this. And I will put a pre-recorded video up on Wednesday. I'm not sure. It'll probably go up at 7 o'clock. I'll time it to go on when I'm usually live on Wednesdays. So I'll have a tutorial for this, and on Friday I will have a download available in February. On Fridays I'm now going to be having a free download on my website, so you can get these tutorials and by just downloading them. And if you're on my email list too, you can get them that way as well. So here is the one that I really like. I like this one plain, and I also like the one that has the handle. It's just different. Okay, and they both sit up nicely. Now this one doesn't have anything in it, but guess what I'm going to put in it? I have these really delicious Dove chocolates that have strawberry flavored chocolates, and it can fit I've only eaten a couple of these. So probably almost a full bag will fit. Almost. I'll say almost. Well, maybe not, because I need to have some space there. But candy can fit in there really nicely. Look at that. And you can just put it on a coworker's desk and not say a word. And it can be a surprise on Valentine's Day. Although I didn't even look on the calendar when Valentine's is, what day of the week it is. I think it's a Friday. I think. But anyway, handled, just let me know. Do you like the handled look or do you like the one without the handle? Let me just see if there's any votes here. I'll give it just a couple more seconds to see what people like. But this is the cherry cobbler ribbon with the gold on it. And again, there's other ribbons too. That I really like the petal pink scallop ribbon. That's really pretty too. That one actually would have looked nice as well. No handle. You know, no handle's less work too. Plus, it's a better price point. You can probably make a little bit more money without the handle. And I really like this. So, my coworkers will probably be getting chocolate. We'll see. Okay, thanks for watching and sticking around with me. I don't usually do a lot of 3D videos. If I do, they're pre-recorded because I can work a little bit better. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see those watching that are coming to my class on Wednesday. Thanks so much, and I'll see you Wednesday. If not, you can catch me on Wednesday at a pre-recorded. Okay, that's it. I'm going back to work. Take care and have an excellent week.